before about, you've made some comments about red pill stuff, and you also made comments about what Andrew Tate, the whole situation with that's happened there. What did
Yep.
you think about as an influencer, growing to 1 million subscribers, seeing someone like him go to have 12 billion uses of his hashtag on TikTok, and then be in August, it is true, in August of 2022, he was the most Googled person on the planet. In that situation, seeing somebody grow that fast as an influencer, what did you think about it? And as somebody in the, the manosphere red pill space, what did you think about it?
Well, I think that he's like almost a perfect communicator, right? When you
Yes.
when you see the conviction he talks with, he doesn't. When I talk, I'll make mistakes, say, oh, or switch what I'm saying. It's for him, it's like this, it just rolls off the tongue as if it was he was reading off of a teleprompter or something that was cinematically done in a movie. So I
Yeah.
think that that's a big part of it, is that the way he speaks is so captivating. And then also, because when he was on, I think it was when he did it was right when he started to get canceled. He did the PBD podcast, like the
Yeah.
Valuetainment podcast, and he was talking about how, like, one of his main techniques is kind of leading with a statement that seems like it's so like wrong and
Correct.
offensive, but behind it he has a basic argument that you can't really argue with. And I think that those were kind of all of his sound bites that started taking over TikTok, Instagram Reels, because even at the time, when probably in August 2022, when he was the most Googled guy, it's not like his YouTube channel had like insane views. It's just that he was literally everywhere. And I think
Yes.
he's a master of these sound bites that lead with such a strong hook that men and women, doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, if you're single, if you're red pill, if you're feminist, like something that draws you in and makes you either really happy or really mad. But then when it gets to the bottom of it, you can't really argue with it, because maybe he slightly misrepresented it the first thing he said. But when you get down to like the dirty of it, it's you can't really argue with him. And obviously it creates these really great moments between him and girls on these different podcasts, for example. But I think that I respect that. It's not a skill that I have, and I can see that and admit that. So I think from an influencer perspective, it was like, wow, he had, I don't know if it was a deliberate plan, but he completely demolished this strategy and deserves all the attention he's getting. In terms of the red pill stuff, I mean, look, I agree with most things he says. I don't agree with everything he says,
Yeah.
but I think that, you know, overall, I think his intentions are good. He's a voice of reason. I think that the only negative impact that he would be is that some of his more people who like idolize him maybe take some things out of context
Yes.
and use him as an excuse to do this, like this bracing for water and this like pre-reject, like they use him as an excuse to take no responsibility in their life, even though he preaches taking extreme
Yeah.
responsibility. I think that would be the only negative impact, which is not a fault of his own.
Yeah.
It's a fault of people internalizing his message in a different way, I would say.
Yeah, it's very so. An example of what you're talking about, he went on this one podcast where he was talking to this Islamic guy, and no, maybe it was somebody else. I can't remember. No, it was a feminist he was on there with, I think. And he said something to the effect of, because I went back and listened to all the full statements that they were taken, that people thought were controversial, and it was the one where the guy says, "Do you believe that women are property?" And his response was, "I believe that my sister belongs to her husband," right? And that's what you lead the clip off with. And you're like, oh shit, he's saying that women are property. And then you go off and listen. And then he goes off and he starts using scripture from the beginning of the Quran and from the Old Testament. And he says, men and women are of one flesh. And he goes on. And by the end of it, it's like, it's really not that controversial what he's saying. But if you take the first 10 seconds, it's like, holy shit, which is what you were saying before. If I was his attorney, I would be like, hey, man, some of these statements, maybe we should say them a different way. But at the same time, I don't have 12 billion searches of my name on TikTok, so I couldn't tell him shit. So it's one of these really weird situations where he blew up so fast. The second thing is the affiliate program that he was using, where he had people creating accounts to disseminate his content. We started doing that in MOA.
Yeah.
I started doing the same thing, and I get 10 times more impressions from my affiliates than I do from me personally. Like my Instagram is triple shadow banned. Not like, seriously, I barely get any engagement on it, whatever. I get more engagement on my backup account. But I have other people that have affiliate codes of mine, and they frequently get videos with millions of views, and it's not under my channel. And that's one of the things that we did. We did 24,000 last month just in affiliate sales. We just started an affiliate program, so we're just learning how to do it. But it's one of these situations where we're starting to grow that bit. But I took that lesson from watching Hustle University and all that other stuff as well.
Yeah, no, I've as a YouTuber at heart, I've always kind of hated the short form content.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's like I envision content as this 15-minute storyline with like cinematic drone shots and background music. And then obviously now is a lot of people's attention online goes to short form content, which takes some away from long form content. But I think Andrew Tate played a role in, the last few months now. We post multiple times a day on TikTok, on a second YouTube channel, on Instagram Reels. And even though I would say my overall, like my main YouTube video reach is down or the views are down, overall, my reach is a lot bigger now when you take everything else into account. But a lot of that is, mastering these like short form, like viral statements that lead into maybe a little bit longer of a video that has some value at the end of it.
Yeah, the other thing that was crazy is as my, I did one video that was super controversial, and then all of a sudden I took it down because it was clear that Instagram was shadow banning me because of it. But after I did the video, we started making more sales. That was another thing I noticed. It's like engagement would go down, but then sales would go up, and that was something. There's a video that Brad Lee did about Grant Cardone where Brad was like, dude, you post too much. I'm going to have to fucking unfollow you. Every time I turn on my Facebook or I go to my Instagram, I'm seeing Grant Cardone. I'm sick of seeing Grant Cardone. And Grant goes, you don't even buy my product anyway, motherfucker. And then he hung up on Brad Lee. And Brad tells this story on stage. It's so great. And then I was like, you know what? Let's do that. So I tell Shar Modell, who's she's my social media manager. So, dude, we're doing 3 clips today. We're doing 3 reels a day, 3 shorts a day, 3 TikToks a day. And we did it. And sometimes some of them will go crazy and get 1 million views, and some of them will get 100 likes. And I'm like, man, I only got 100 likes. And then sales double, triple. Did our first month, 400K in a month. Like that's what happened because of it, because your niche that wants to buy from you, they don't really care about the fluff. If you keep speaking to them over and over again, this is another thing. I bet you'll find that for your Beast Dating program, so the people who buy it have probably watched several hours or 100 hours of your content. And once they get to that point and you get them on the sales call, they're ready to go. They're like, hey, can we skip this whole sales call and just let me buy the program? That's essentially what happens. So that's why I think it works so well.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely